What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to week six? Week six of college football picks. Good week last week. Sorry about the gap. I meant to film this Monday. I just never got around to it. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna do college and NFL today because there is Thursday night football, so NFL should be out today. And so I'll film. So college and NFL will be out today. College first, NFL will be later. And then tomorrow the MLB playoffs start. So tomorrow morning I'll upload an MLB playoff picks, and then maybe at the end of the day we can stream some games. I am going to Hoosier Hysteria tomorrow though. It's like a thing where they introduce the basketball team and stuff, and they have like a dunk contest and like a 3-point contest. And it's like I think the women's team too, and it's super hype, super fun. Different, like I know Kentucky does something similar, Louisville, UNC, Duke do something similar. Apparently, G Herbo is gonna be there, so yeah, so probably not gonna stream the late game, but like if one of the early playoff games, I don't know, it starts at like 7. It shouldn't go that late. I don't know. But yeah, I'll be there. Might vlog, might not. We'll see. Let's get into our picks though. Okay, so SMU and UCF played last night. Now I made this board like a while ago. I made this board a while ago and I picked UCF, so that's already a correct pick for this week. Yeah, I mean, do we talk about the game? What really happened to the game? And UCF blew them out. My goodness, 41-19. Low off of my score there. Houston and Memphis. I am going to take Memphis. Memphis is at home. Houston is, I don't know, not really looked good this year, so I'll take Memphis. Tennessee LSU. I think this is going to be a really good game. LSU's at home. Now, that is not easy to win on the road there. But what Tennessee fans were happy about is that this game it's a noon kickoff. It's not at night. That's what Tennessee really didn't want to do. They really didn't want to have to play at night. I think that coupled with I think Tennessee's just a better team. And I don't think LSU's that great. I don't really think they should be ranked. And the fact that Tennessee is also favored in this game, I like Tennessee's chance of this one. Arkansas and Mississippi State. I'm going to take Arkansas. I think most people are taking Mississippi State in this game because they just blew out A&M. I got a little spoiler for you. A&M ain't that good, Jack. But Arkansas coming off a kind of bad loss to Bama. I mean, they almost came back in that game, but ultimately got blown out. I think they're going to rebound well. Mississippi State coming off a high win. I just see the stars aligning for a Mississippi State win. Texas and Oklahoma, man, this used to be a big game. This is a big game at the start of the year. Now it's a glorified scrimmage. It's the battle for who's not going to get last in the Big 12. I don't know. I think Oklahoma. I don't know. I really don't know. Both these teams are just the worst. I'm gonna take Oklahoma. I feel like Oklahoma has had Texas's number in the last few years with this game, so I'm gonna take Oklahoma. Georgia and Auburn now. Georgia struggled on the road against a not great Missouri team. I don't know if y'all saw the SEC Shorts video where Georgia like the scared straight thing where like the kids go to the prison. And they had Georgia go to the FBS basement. UMass is like interrogating them. That was funny, but I don't think that they're going to beat. I don't think they're going to lose to Auburn at home. I think they get it together this week. Purdue and Maryland. Maryland's been looking strong. They gave Michigan a really good game. Blew out Michigan State. They're 4-1. Other than that, they're 4-1. Only lost that Michigan game against Purdue. I think Maryland could definitely take them and hang on for a win. Oklahoma State and Texas Tech. Oklahoma State's starting to look really good. They're starting to get up there in the ranking 7, 6, 5 range. They're a really strong team. I think Oklahoma State's got a lot of potential. For sure the best team in the Big 12, from what I've seen. For sure the best team in the Big 12. They should have no problems with Texas Tech at home. Utah and UCLA. This is all of a sudden a big game. Utah, of course, has rebounded, I think, really well since that Florida loss in week 1. And UCLA hasn't lost at all. They're 5-0. They just gave Washington a beat down. And now they got Utah coming to town. I still think Utah. Are they the best? I'm not sure if they're better than. I'm not sure who's better, Utah or USC. I think they play each other next week. I think if I had to pick right now, I'd say right now USC. I don't know. I think right now USC has looked better, but we'll have to see when these two teams actually play. But UCLA undefeated. I think they're ranked now. Are they ranked? I think they're ranked. I think UCLA is ranked. If they're not, they should be. Yeah, they're ranked 18. So this is a big game in the Pac-12. But I'm gonna go with Utah. I think they're definitely the better team. They're also favored on the road. I think UCLA. Dorian Thompson Robinson is a fantastic quarterback. I think he can do a lot in this game to help UCLA's chances, but I think Utah's gonna get it done. Ohio State and Michigan State. I think this will be a blowout of biblical proportions. This is gonna be a massacre of a game. Michigan State is just wow. They are really regretting giving Mel Tucker all that money. They really are. I mean, they're circling the drain 2-3 after beating Akron and Western Michigan. They've gotten blown out in 3 straight games to Washington, Minnesota, and Maryland. And now Ohio State comes to town. It's going to be bad, man. Buckeyes big. Ole Miss and Vandy. I mean, I don't think we need to go too much into this game. I think Vandy's pretty outclassed here. Ole Miss looking really good. They got a date with. I'm telling you, we'll get to Alabama later. I feel like there are a lot of teams on Alabama's schedule left that could contend with them. There are a lot of teams rising up the ranks in the SEC. Well, not A&M. They're just an embarrassment. But, I mean, Alabama's next 5 games, A&M, Tennessee, Mississippi State, LSU, and Ole Miss, all of which I think are games that they could lose. The one I would think they would be most likely to lose is Tennessee. But at Ole Miss, too, I don't know. But Ole Miss, cakewalk game against Vandy, they should get it done. UNC and Miami, battle of two kind of what's it called? Two SEC, ACC teams. I don't know. I was gonna take Miami because they're at home, but I forgot no one comes to their games, and they gotta rent a stadium from the Dolphins. I mean, give me UNC. Clemson and Boston College. Boston College is one of, if not the worst team in the ACC. They're just atrocious. They're just not a good team. Clemson on the road. I mean, they should not have any problems whatsoever. What's the spread even for this game? 20.5 in favor of Clemson. That seems a little low, honestly, even on the road. USC and Washington State. Now, USC, they're trending in the right direction. They're on the outskirts of the playoff discussion. They're ranked 6th. And they've looked pretty good in doing so. Blew out Rice, blew out Stanford, blew out Fresno State. Had a bit of a scare against Oregon State. A good Oregon State team, though. A good Oregon State team. I thought they would lose that game, actually. So the fact that they won it is good. And then blew out Arizona State. They were running through teams. And, of course, next week they have Utah on the road. Now, this could be a trap game. Washington State is not a pushover. They're 4-1. They're a good team, and they very well could be 5-0. I mean, they beat Idaho, Washington State. They beat Idaho, Wisconsin, Colorado State. 3 just terrible teams. And then they played Oregon and had a big lead on Oregon too, and then just kind of blew it near the end of that game. And then they just went out and murdered Cal. Washington State, not a pushover. I would not be shocked if they win. If this was at Washington State, I would pick them. But I think close game, 12.5 seems like a lot for USC in this game. I think they win, but close. South Carolina, Kentucky. Man, I felt bad for Kentucky after the way that Ole Miss game ended. They fumbled twice when they were down 3. That's a rough loss. They should rebound nicely against South Carolina though. I guess they would still have an outside chance of winning the East. I mean, they'd have to really put it into a second gear. But I mean, they would have a chance, I think, to win the East. Because I mean, they still got to play Tennessee and Georgia. We'll see what they do against those teams, but South Carolina should be a win. Wake Forest and Army. I think Wake Forest should win this one pretty easily. BYU and Notre Dame. Now the spread is Notre Dame 3.5. I know BYU's probably going to be the popular pick here because they look better and Notre Dame lost to Marshall, but I mean, they just beat UNC. Notre Dame did, and Notre Dame's coming off a bye week. I don't think BYU is going to be able to hold up in this game. I think they can maybe keep it close, but I think ultimately Notre Dame at home is going to win this one. I know that it wouldn't even be an upset. I know BYU's ranked 16, but I think Notre Dame's going to get their act together this week. I think they're going to win. Kansas State and Iowa State. Kansas State a 2-point favorite. I know Iowa State had just a gut-wrenching, terrible loss against Kansas, and Kansas State's been looking good. They're ranked 20th in the country, but I'm gonna go with good old Iowa State at home. It is really hard to bet against Iowa State at home. I mean, they're one of the best home teams in the entire country, so I'm going to take Iowa State. FPI predictor also likes Iowa State, too, even though they're not favored spread-wise. Illinois and Iowa. Man, who would have thought Illinois would be getting votes to be ranked after they lost week 1 to Indiana? They lost week 1 to IU, and now they haven't lost since. They play a terrible Iowa offense. Ask yourself this, who's better, Iowa or Wisconsin? I'm not sure on that one. Well, Illinois blew out Wisconsin, so I'm going to take Illinois in this one. A&M and Alabama. Man, this was supposed to be the game of the century. Supposed to be the best game of the year, and now A&M has a 3.8% chance to win. My Lord, the spread has ballooned to 24. If at the start of the year people said maybe this, at the start of the year, if you asked people what the spread would be for this game, they'd probably say around, 10 for Alabama, 10 or 7. It is now 24. This is a revenge game for Alabama. A&M, of course, beat them last year and then got the number 1 recruiting class, and Alabama was upset about that, and Jimbo Fisher said a bunch of things about Alabama. Here's the question mark for Alabama. Who's going to start at quarterback? Jalen Milroe or Bryce Young? Because, of course, Bryce Young got knocked out of the game last week against Arkansas. Now, I don't know if it's that serious of an injury. I'm not sure how badly hurt he is. But here's the thing, even if he is hurt, Jalen Milroe is a dog. He looks like a linebacker and runs like as fast as a receiver. I mean, I think Bryce Young's a lot better at throwing the ball, but Jalen Milroe is almost unstoppable with his legs. He is a tank and a force. I mean, I don't even think the offense is going to slow down with Milroe at the helm. It might even be better. Like Uncle Lou, I think, put it best. Who will it be? Who will be starting for Alabama? Will it be Jalen Milroe or Bryce Young that puts a whooping on Texas A&M? This is going to be a blowout. Absolute blowout. I would even hammer that 24 spread. This is going to be a blowout, folks. I'm sorry. Nick Saban is going to run up the score in this one. NC State and Florida State. NC State a 3-point favorite at home. I don't think Florida State's that good of a team. I mean, they look pretty good to start the year. Then they lost to Wake Forest at home. I don't really see how they're going to beat NC State on the road. Give me the Pack. Oregon and Arizona. I think I picked Arizona to go winless this year. Yeah, I think I did. I actually picked Arizona to go winless this year. They're 3-2, so you know what? Good for them. I think Oregon will beat them. No, I think they'll beat them on the road or beat them at home. Hawaii and San Diego State. I just kind of had to fill out games. There really aren't that many good games this week. I'm gonna take San Diego State, and then Oregon State and Stanford. I like Oregon State in that one. All right, featured games. I really only put this one up because it's IU's biggest game of the year. Biggest home game, at least. You know what? Biggest game. Because honestly, the only games I really cared about them winning were Illinois, Michigan, and Purdue. Those were the 3 games I really wanted them to win. They already won one of them. So number 4 Michigan comes to town. I will be at this game. It is going to be a ruckus environment. Should be a sellout because the number 4 ranked team in the country is coming to town. Now, here's what you guys start looking for if you want to pull an upset. Well, what does IU have to do to win? Well, I feel like I don't know if people know this about IU. You may know this, you may not. IU leads the country in tempo. They average 19 seconds between plays. That is the fastest in the country. If they're going to do that, if they're going to try to run the hurry up and stuff, it's got to work. Because if you keep running into 3 and outs and stuff, it is not going to be good. They got to get the run game going, which I think could be hard because the offensive line is not that great. I think Michigan's run defense, I know, is usually really good. I'm not sure how good their pass defense is. I feel like this would be a game IU would have to air it out. and attack from the sky. And they gotta. I feel like they also have to make JJ McCarthy beat them with. They have to make JJ McCarthy beat him with his arm, because JJ McCarthy is a great running quarterback, and stuff. But I mean, he's good throwing the ball, but can he win you a game by himself with his arm? I don't know. Blake Corum's obviously amazing. 93 carries, 611 yards, or he's got 10 touchdowns. I feel like IU can hang around in this one. I feel like maybe Michigan can get off guard with the tempo. And maybe, just maybe, IU can pull this upset. Michigan's favorite at 22.5. They're giving us a better chance to beat Michigan than A&M has to beat Alabama. Just let that sink in. It's going to be a sellout. Student section should be rowdy as hell. I'll be there, part of that. I think IU covers. I don't think they win. I'm going to say 32-20. I think they can hang around for a little bit, but ultimately I think Michigan's just the better team. I think they're going to wear them down and win. Also, too, part of the reason this could be a trap game, because Michigan is home against Penn State next week. So maybe, just maybe, this could be a trap game. I'm hoping it is, but 22.5-point dogs, that's a lot. All right, now the game. Bro, if you told me preseason, like, this would be the game of the... If you told me preseason, go look at week 6. I'll look at week 6. I'm like, all right, what are the good games going to be? A&M, Michigan. Or not A&M. A&M, Alabama. Georgia, Auburn will be a good game. Tennessee, LSU could be a good game. If you would have told me that BYU, Notre Dame could be a good game. If you would have told me that game day would be going to Kansas and TCU, I don't know what I would say, man. I don't know what I would say. Kansas, look at them. They are 5. Also, I picked Kansas to win one game. I picked them to beat Tennessee Tech, and then I had them losing the rest of their games. Losing to West Virginia, Houston, Duke, Iowa State, all of them. Well, they're 5-0. Now, to be fair, haven't beaten that many great teams. Tennessee Tech is a cupcake. West Virginia, they're not any good this year, and they beat them in overtime. Houston, not great. Even though people thought they'd be great in the preseason, not great now. Beat Duke. Duke's not great. Iowa State. I feel like Iowa State's the best team they've beaten. But I'm not really impressed with the 5-0. But you do got to give it to them. It's Kansas. Let them be happy. TCU, though, I have been impressed with. Beat a bad Colorado team. Beat a bad Tarleton State team. Beat an okay SMU team. Actually, apparently SMU is like trying to get their, I don't know, not a great SMU team. But what they did against Oklahoma took them to the damn shed and gave them a good old beatdown. 55. What's Max Duggan, QB for TCU? Man, did he look good. Airing it out. They were running it all over him. TCU really impressed me. It's like, I know Oklahoma's disappointed. Like, if they would have barely beaten Oklahoma, I'd be like, all right, that's a good win. But the fact that they blew them out, TCU's looking really impressive. And they're a 6.5-point favorite. Here's what I'm going to say. I'm not quite a believer in Kansas yet. I'm just not. I feel like they might get exposed this game. I think TCU is definitely the better team from what I've seen. If Kansas wins this, I'll be a full believer in Kansas. But I think for now, it's kind of a flash in the pan so far. I don't know. I'm going to take TCU. I think they're better. I just think they're better. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. NFL picks I want to try to get up later today, but yeah, I'll see y'all around.